Top of the evening to you. So, I want to let you know there's a little bit of a change in how I'm going to deliver things. Well, every week I do a solo cast, a one-to-one, but that's going to change a little bit. We're going to just test it. And what I'm going to do is once a month, maybe twice a month, I'm just going to give you a little update on things I've been doing, who I've been hanging with, what I've been learning behind the scenes, a little bit of a deeper dive. So got my journal out and I took some notes of what's happened over this last entire month since getting back from South Africa. So I've got my cup of tea here, my rooibos, ready to rock, sitting here in the studio this evening. And I've wrote down some really important things I'm going to share with you behind the scenes of some of the special guests I've brought in from my clients and what they've shared about life, about business, about leveling up in all areas of entrepreneurship. Also about the launch of our event and some of the behind the scenes stuff with that. An amazing trip I had to Rotorua, Vegas, some of you may know it as, sitting down with a former lead psychologist of the SAS. A few things I learned from her that I think will be really valuable for you in your life. So would love to hear what you think about this episode for sure. So in the last month, I guess probably it's fair to say that there's been a lot going on. However, the main priority has been the book launch. So Habits of High Performers is coming out very soon. Right. In fact, if you're listening to this on the day that it's went live, it'll be like 2 or 3 weeks. 26th of August, 2025 is when it goes live. It's on shelves. For all of you amazing humans who pre-ordered it, it also ships direct to you on that day. And I cannot wait for it to be in your hands. I've spent years handwriting, refining, editing, working with an incredible publisher, recalibrating it again, editing, getting feedback, getting endorsements. It's been a labor of love is probably the best way to describe it. There's been some trying times, some times where it tested my patience, but I'll tell you what, I have really enjoyed the process. I'm very excited for you to get your hands on the Habits of High Performers. If you're wondering what's in there, well, I give you the exact roadmap that the highest performers across every industry in business and life use. These are the themes I've seen from every high performer I've ever sat with, interviewed, worked with, coached. This is the exact framework. And inside, I actually share my entire system. So if you never wanted to work with me and you just wanted to get the results, you could get it from the book. Go get it, order it from Paper Plus. Actually, go to the link below, thehabitbook.com. You can check it out. But that's been certainly something for me I've had to stay focused on. So obviously, I'm a dad, I'm a partner, I've got a business, I've got lots of clients, traveling. But the actual number one priority this month and for the next few weeks has to be the book. I want to do it justice. So many great people at HarperCollins have been helping make this book what it is. So I want to do that justice. So I've really been staying focused on that. Hey, James here. I wanted to take a quick moment to let you know about something. Look, I get asked to deliver keynotes and workshops for teams and companies all over the world, from London to Antarctica, from America to Australasia, from armies to small businesses to large corporates to sports teams. But I go in and deliver keynotes around the mindset of high performers, around the habits of high performers, about how we navigate change. If you would like me to come and speak to your team or speak at your conference or deliver a bespoke workshop, please get in touch with my team. Caroline at jjlaughlin.com will be able to help. I'll also make sure that we put that in the show notes. And the other thing I want to share with you that maybe will help you in your journey is don't be afraid to ask for help. Often I'm not good at that. I'll figure it out. I'll get it done. I'll work a bit harder. But actually with the book, I've had to ask for help and ask people to support it and ask people to endorse it and ask people to buy it for their teams and ask people to go, would you buy a copy? Why? I want this book to get into the hands of the people that need it most. Those are the people who are busy. Those are the people who have big ideas but no follow through. Those are the people who are following through but maybe not quite getting the results. And I need people to buy the book so that we can maybe potentially, if we're really lucky, hit the bestseller list. And if we do that, that's not an ego thing. You know what that means? It lets all the booksellers and the beautiful independent bookstores know that this book's something that somebody wants. They'll put it on their shelves. More great humans like you will walk past it and see it at the airport or see it at your favorite bookstore, and you might pick it up. And that's really what my mission is. I don't want to write a book and 6 months later it's disappeared. I really want it to be a perennial feature and a perennial seller so that people can use it and apply it to their lives. So that's really been the big lesson, is do ask for help. Do think about what you need right now from people, and don't be afraid to ask. So next big thing to talk about was Rotorua. So I'm just going to make sure to tick this off as we go. Rotorua. So I was up there speaking at the FTMA conference, the Frame and Truss Manufacturers Association conference. And I'll tell you what, I never knew that existed. But when I got there, I realized what an amazing collection of humans who are literally the backbone of this country. And I'm sure every other country in the world. Actually, there's lots of Aussies across for it too. It was great. But there's such incredible people doing amazing things. They got together for a day and a half. I was fortunate to spend the entire day with them. I facilitated some panels and I had way too much fun doing that, and then delivered a keynote. But in the evening, I got to listen to my friend, Dr. Alia Bushalova, speak. And I've heard Alia on my podcast, several other podcasts. We've chatted lots, but I never got to see her in action. And she was awesome. And I took some notes. There's some real things that really stuck out that I think could be helpful for you. Because as I travel right now, I'm sitting down with economists, I'm sitting down with business owners, chatting to audiences. I sense there's a lot of tough times for a lot of people. Certainly in particular sectors, construction for sure being one of them, retail, others as well. But for us to navigate these things, we've got to have tools, right? And so when I'm listening to great people, particularly psychologists from the SAS, well, what can I learn? And often it's the common sense things. But as I've said before, common sense is rarely common practice. So I want to just bring these up. First thing that she said that I was like, whoa, got to write that one down. It's not about you. It's not about them. It's the context. Think about that for a second. I thought about it. I was like, whoa, that's pretty profound. I need to think about that a little bit more. When there's issues, when there's challenges, when there's aggravations, when there's friction, it's not about you. It's actually not about them. It's the context. And if we focus on the context, well, that gives us more self-awareness. It gives us an opportunity to look at the bigger picture. It certainly will give us a little moment, a little micro moment to get out of our own heads, separate ourselves from ego and think about our thoughts rather than react and take a big swing. So that for me was huge. It's not about you, it's not about them, it's the context. Where does that apply for you right now? What's happening in your life right now? Think about your relationships. Anything going on at home? With your intimate relationship? Maybe it's a friendship. Maybe it's a relationship you've got with a sibling or a child. Is there anything in any of those relationships where you could go, you know what, it's not you, it's not them, it's the context. And you could just focus on the context rather than a me versus you thing, or I must win. Honestly, I find that little gem so timely, really, really helpful. Now, the other thing I want to share with you that I just loved, I really loved this. Alia said, be unapologetic about what you pay attention to and dismiss the rest. How cool is that? Like, get focused on what you want to focus on, what you're passionate about, what you want to stand for, what you're creating, what you're writing, what you're speaking about, what you're standing for. Be unapologetic about what you pay attention to and dismiss the rest. Guess what? I've just given you permission to not respond to every email today. I've just given you permission to not return every call that you've missed this week. I've just given you permission to not respond to every text message. Be unapologetic about what you pay attention to. Maybe this week, this is a non-texting week. Maybe this week's you know what? I'm not responding to all the non-urgent emails this week. They can wait. And that's okay. When it comes to high performance, we've got to be masters of saying no. High performers are so good at saying no. And that's why high performers are never busy. People who are perennially busy are definitely not high performers. They just aren't. Oh, I'm so busy. I've got so many things on. Okay, you're not going to be achieving great results. Sitting down with someone amazing like Hamish Kerr, the flying Kiwi. He's our gold Olympic medal winning high jumper. It's very clear to me. He prioritizes one thing. high jumping. That's it. Everything else he just dismisses. And yeah, he makes time for a relationship, makes time for eating, but all of that actually helps and supports and serves his mission of being the world's best high jumper. What are you being the best in? What do you want to be world class at? Maybe you don't want to be an Olympic champion, but surely there's something you're like, oh, if I double down on this, I could be the world's best. I'm telling you right now, if you get clear on what it is and you work so hard, give it 5 years, and I promise you, you will be in the top 5%, maybe even top 1% of the world. Give it 10 years and you'll arguably be one of the top 1 or 2 people on the planet at whatever it is you put your mind to. For you, it might be rugby. It might be leadership. It might be investing. It might be parenting. It really doesn't matter what it is. But when you try to be good at all the things, you tend to dilute your results, dilute your priorities, dilute your results. So get clear on what that is. I just want to say Aliyah was awesome. And if you don't have her book, get her book as well. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'll make sure we put a link in the show notes. It's all about resilience. Dr. Aliyah Bushalova. Okay. HPL. HPL, as you might know or may not, each year I host one event, high performance leadership event for self-leadership, for being a better leader, being a better person. And trust me, I need it every year because I've got a lot of work to do and I've got a lot of growth to do. But I don't want to be busy being busy and host this 4 or 5 times a year. It's once a year, we open the doors, always in Christchurch. This year it's going to be at the Christchurch Town Hall. We've just opened the doors. In fact, something really weird happened. We opened it to our wait list. We have an HPL wait list. And within an hour, 65% of the early bird tickets were gone. An hour. And then the next day we opened it up to our email list. And if you're not on that, you should probably get on it. And we got another 20% gone. So all the early bird tickets are nearly gone. So if you're thinking I'd like to go, people in the past that we've had there as guests, Sir John Key, former Prime Minister, Sir Steve Hansen, former All Blacks head coach, Wayne Smith. We've had, this is where your brain blanks. I had Zion Armstrong last year, former president of Adidas North America. We've had, who else have we had? So many great guests. Kieran Reid, former All Blacks captain. We try to get a blend of business and sport and life. This year, we got 2 guests confirmed. The third, I know who it is, but you don't yet, and I'm going to reveal it very soon. But the first 2 guests, Dr. Aliyah Bushalova, who I just spoke to you about. She's locked and loaded. You do not want to miss this opportunity. This will be transformational for you. Secondly, we got the amazing Dom Harvey. Dom Harvey is a New Zealand icon, so committed and driven to his art, has been at it for over 30 years. We get to learn a lot about persistence, commitment, vision, drive, pivoting when things aren't going right. And he's just an amazing guy, incredible personality. And last but not least, well, I can't tell you just yet. We'll reveal that soon. Our email list will be the first to find out who that last is. And trust me, you do not want to miss that announcement. It's going to be incredible. And I know the event will sell out. It sells out every year. So if you're thinking about doing it, come and join us. Get your ticket right now. Click the link. I'll make sure the team puts it right at the very top, along with where you can find the book. You got to come to HPL if you're serious about leadership, self-growth, personal development. It's the one event of the year where I go all out. We have an amazing collection of individuals. The people you will meet and connect with, you're just going to love it. So go check it out. I'll put the page below. You can go check out more details. Any questions, just reach out to the team. We also have a lot of corporates and teams bringing their entire teams. If you're doing that, we got discounts for you. So keep us in mind. So what else is going on? Okay, yeah. I want to talk about my cab driver. He's just amazing. Just incredible. His name's Sanjeev, and he's here in Christchurch. I want to shine the light on him because I'm so grateful for him. I'm at the airport a lot and traveling a lot. And his consistency, reliability, his friendship, his humor, his curiosity, it's so breathtakingly refreshing. And I see someone who's a young family man, committed to his family, has a vision for his family, has emigrated here from India. Like, what a huge, incredible commitment. And I think sometimes you and I are busy being busy, and we don't always take the time to see everyone around us. I want you to think about the people around you that are helping you, serving you, connecting with you, working with you, partnering with you, and just see them. Actually stop and see them and be curious with them. So I love, whether it's a 5 a.m. trip to the airport or a 8 p.m. coming home from the airport, it's 40 minutes in the car him and I spend, and I laugh and I get curious and I learn and we share ideas. It's amazing. So I want you to think about the people in your life that you could just be a bit more curious with, and who you can be more grateful for. Because, you go into a restaurant and someone, you might have a local, maybe you have your local pub, your local cafe, and you go in, they know your name, and how much do you know about them? What are their interests? What are their dreams? Where are they heading? What can you help them with? And that's something I really take a lot of pride in is, where can I try and help someone? It doesn't cost you anything to help someone. And it certainly doesn't take away from your energy. It certainly doesn't stop you from elevating. So I want you to think about that for a minute. Who's the Sanjeev? And I don't get sponsored by corporate cabs. I don't get any commissions or kickbacks, but certainly he's just incredible, and certainly someone I'm very grateful for this month. Who's that person for you this month? The other thing is I'm really reminded this month the importance of having MVPs. In fact, I'm looking up right now in the background there, just at I have like a book launch calendar that I've put together for this launch, and it's looks like chaos, looks full on. But I know I'll get through it because I have got an MVP process. But 4 months ago, we had Rob Penny, the head coach of the current champions, the Canterbury Crusaders, and we're talking about his approach to helping the team. And he talked about them having 3 big goals every week. And I just went, that's interesting. Something I do with my clients. I call it MVPs. Every week, I ask my clients, what's your MVP this week? Your most valued priority. And 3 at most. No more, 3 at most. When you look at how the brain functions, it can't deal with 7 and 9 and 12. It just can't. The brain doesn't function like that. No matter what anyone tells you, your brain doesn't deal in those chunk sizes. 3 or 4 at a stretch. I like to do 3. Very achievable. Same for the year, the quarter, the month, the week, the day. I always have 3 MVPs. And that's really helping me get through a relatively full-on time. All you got to ask yourself is, what's my most valued priority this week? In fact, I have a mastermind group that I run, and we have a little WhatsApp group and a wee chat group. And every Sunday, when I'm doing Sunday success steps for the week, they all put in what their MVP was last week and did they achieve them or not. And then they put in and commit to the group what their MVP is for the week ahead. Folks, the amount of follow through when you can tell people publicly you have an accountability partner or an accountability group, your chances of succeeding and following through with those goals significantly increases, like 30+%. When you look at the research studies, very big difference between people who have accountability and the people who don't. So MVPs, write them down right now. What are your MVPs this week? What are your 3 MVPs today? And it could be business, health, life, family, whatever areas are most important to you. Have your 3 MVPs, cover those. Don't have 9, don't have 12, don't have 55, just 3. Because you and I can achieve that, right? We can deal with that. Okay, a couple of other wee things before we wrap up. Recently had Sally Sinnott come and join my roundtable mastermind. So Sally Sinnott was the founder of a brand called Pumpkin Patch. And for those that don't remember that or don't know that, it was an iconic children's clothing brand and went global. Started here in New Zealand. It was started in Sally's head, and it became something that she held in her hand. And as the great Bob Proctor has always said, what you can hold in your head, you can hold in your hand. She quit her job after going to a Bob Proctor seminar, quit it over the weekend, and started Pumpkin Patch from nothing. And this went global. I mean, all the countries you can imagine, that's where Pumpkin Patch was. Over $800 million company. Mind-blowing. So we got her in as a guest, and I do this once a quarter for my mastermind members. We get someone very interesting from sport or business and sometimes politics and ask them how they think, how they plan, how they strategize, who helped them, what went wrong, what they learned from it. And we did this just recently. It was last Friday at the Northern Club up in Auckland. And God, it was just fascinating. The group were blown away. Firstly, by her absolute humility. Just a lovely, down-to-earth human who gets it, who totally gets it. And she spoke from the heart. There was, no, if you look at what she's done in her life, she could have every right to be sitting, looking down upon others. But no, she didn't. She's one of those great humans who doesn't do that. And I deeply admire that. I really love that. I wanted to share 3 things. There was about 55 things. After the guest leaves, we always debrief what all of us heard. Literally, there was 55 things that we took away from that. But here's the 3 most profound ones from my end that I think could serve you. Don't be everything to everyone. Don't dilute yourself. Don't say yes to everything. I hear this, people say, just it's a yes year. I'm a yes person. Say yes and everything. Well, if you say yes to everything, you're going to be a busy idiot. Say no more often. Say yes to what truly matters. And don't try and be the master of everything. Don't be everything to everyone, because if you do, you'll be nothing to anyone. Be really clear on that. Secondly, as you might know, if you've been listening for a while, I don't believe in work-life balance. I just don't. There's no such thing. There are times when our work needs us, and it needs us to go full on. Like this book launch coming up, I promise you guys, I'm spending so much time on that. Not nearly as much time on other parts of my life, but it's a season, and I got to do it justice. Now, the way Sally spoke about this, she said, always be heading back to balance. I love that. You're never going to reach it. It's never a definite destination, but if you're heading towards it or back to balance, it's kind of like it flows a bit more. Super busy. Oh, I realize I'm super busy and full on. Okay, I'll head back to balance. Get a holiday, hang out with the family at home, watch Netflix. Oh, super busy again, heading back to balance. That's achievable. So I want you to think about, are you heading back to balance, and maybe when do you need to head back? I always like having a holiday on the horizon, something to look forward to. It could be a small trip in the car, could be a flight, whatever, but always having something to look forward to. Last but not least from Sally, never talk shit about people in the company. It's a fireable offense. I just love this. I loved it. She said she learned it from her mentor. And he said, never talk shit about anyone. Never complain, bicker, gossip about anyone in the company. It's a rule in the company. And if you do it, it's a fireable offense. And that was her approach at Pumpkin Patch. Like, don't talk crap. Be kind, be thoughtful, be solutions focused. It creates an amazing culture. How many times do you catch yourself getting involved with conversation that complains about other people, or you hear others doing the same thing? That contributes to a workplace with an unhealthy, maybe even toxic culture. So just embrace that beautiful rule from Sally. Okay, to wrap up, I've got one little thing for you to think about. I've been thinking about this a lot. I've wrote it down like 5 or 6 times this month. What you think about, you bring about. What you think about, you bring about. This is something I've spent the last 20 years studying, reading, getting mentored on, being coached by the greatest thought leaders on the planet. And it's all on the mindset. And they all have different ways of saying it. But when I wrote this down, what you think about, you bring about, it totally resonated. Whatever you hold in your mind as your dominant thoughts, you take actions towards those. If they're positive thoughts, great, you'll take positive actions. If they're negative thoughts, you're going to take negative actions. So whatever you place in your mind, that's your responsibility, nobody else's. You get to choose that. The words, the thoughts, the people, the relationships, the dreams, the goals. That's all up to you. You've got to be fully responsible for what goes in there. And it's up to you what you plant. But whatever you think about, you bring about in your life. So that's exciting, right? Because you can take full responsibility for that. So folks, I hope you've enjoyed the slightly longer update. This is a bit longer than what I do for the one-to-ones and the solocasts, but I thought it would be nice to kind of share some of what's going on. I'm so fortunate to get into some of the rooms I get into and the people I work with. And I feel it's my duty to share these gems with you and hope that there'll be one that you can go, God, I needed to hear that today. So I hope there was one little gem in there for you. Please, if you found this episode helpful, just forward it to a friend. And if you want to review and all that stuff, that's cool. But just forwarding it to someone would be awesome and make a difference in their life. But for now, please get out there and lead your life on purpose.